So today I'm going to talk about some of the other benefits of coffee that go beyond just waking you up in the morning. In other words, I'm going to give you some really important reasons to drink coffee. That being said, I'm not recommending coffee if it gives you anxiety, it increases your heart rate, and if it prevents you from sleeping. And I'm not recommending large amounts of coffee, just 1 cup a day. I am the human guinea pig for drinking way too much coffee. In college, I drank pots of coffee, and it really burned out my adrenals because too much coffee can increase cortisol and adrenaline. So why am I recommending coffee in the first place? Well, there's some different chemicals in the coffee itself, as well as this one chemical called caffeine. And the benefits of coffee come from both caffeine and these other chemicals. And just so you know, caffeine is a phytochemical, okay? It comes from plants. It's actually an insecticide, and it's in 30 plants. But the question is, how can an insecticide be good for us? Well, sometimes a little poison or a little stress can actually create benefits in our body. So what is coffee? Really, it's just a fermented coffee bean. That means that they're interacting with a microbe to enhance something about that food. I want to talk about these other benefits other than the one that most people know. Caffeine inhibits a certain compound called adenosine. That keeps us awake. It normally helps us go to sleep. It makes us tired. Well, by inhibiting that chemical, caffeine will wake you up. But let's get into some of the other things that coffee can do for you. It can give you mental acuity. It can help you focus. It can actually help you actually even learn a little bit better. It also speeds up the rate of metabolism. It also helps your blood sugars, especially if you add some MCT oil or butter to the coffee to make it bulletproof coffee. There's some data that shows that it can decrease your risk of getting dementia and decrease certain symptoms related to Parkinson's disease and even Alzheimer's. It has certain properties that can decrease your risk of getting gallstones, and that's because it increases the production of bile and the flow of bile. It also has properties to help prevent a kidney stone. There's data to show that it has anti-cancer properties, which is interesting. And no, I don't think just drinking more coffee is going to get rid of your cancer. It has anti-inflammatory properties, hepatoprotection properties. It's basically protection against your liver. There's certain things in coffee, like polyphenols, that help feed your microbiome. There's a condition called postural hypotension. Basically, you stand up and your blood pressure drops, right? You feel dizzy. Coffee can help that. If I drink too much coffee, more than 1 cup, and later in the day, I won't be able to sleep that well. So what I do is I have the 1 cup of coffee. Do I put cream in it? Yes, I do. Do I put sugar in it? No, I don't. And I don't use any sweeteners, even alternative sugar alcohols in my coffee. Coffee also helps apparently with exercise performance, increasing cardiac output and delaying soreness in your muscles. Because apparently the neurotransmitters that it activates helps to vasodilate your lungs. Also, coffee can help decrease the symptoms of being at a high altitude. So some people have problems with that. Well, coffee can help that. And I think that has to do with the sympathetic nervous system activation more than anything else, which is really the strength of how you can adapt to stress. Coffee can increase mitochondrial biogenesis. Now, what is that? It basically increases the number of mitochondria in your body. Coffee also has the ability to increase stomach acid to help you digest. Now, there's some other research that I looked at that talked about if you combine certain things with coffee, there's an enhanced effect. So, for example, if you combine alcohol with coffee, apparently you'll have less jitters, okay? You'll feel less jittery. If you smoke or take tobacco with coffee, apparently the nicotine helps clear out the caffeine a little faster. If you take certain medications for a headache or pain, the caffeine can help enhance the benefits. So this is why anytime I drink coffee, I also smoke a cigarette, take a little shot of whiskey, and take my pain medication. And of course, I hope you understand now my dry sense of humor. I am completely being sarcastic. And even birth control pills, which personally I do not take, can extend the half-life of caffeine. which means that the caffeine will stay in your body longer if you're taking birth control pills. Now, for those of you that decided that you're going to start drinking coffee, you probably need to know how to neutralize the side effects of coffee. And for that, I put this video up right here. Check it out. I wanted to do this quick video on the interesting benefits of applying caffeine to your skin. Now, the question is, can't you just drink coffee and get enough caffeine to help your skin? Well, no, that doesn't really work. There's certain topical benefits of caffeine that you can't get by drinking caffeine. Now, of course, you can always overdo it. So I'm not talking about putting a tremendous amount on your skin, but just enough to create some interesting effects. Now, as far as the type of caffeine, you can use coffee grounds, you can use caffeine creams, or you can use green tea or a combination of green tea and coffee, which I do recommend because there's so many different phytonutrients in coffee and green tea, including the compound EGCG, which has incredible benefits. You probably have seen many different facial creams with green tea extract and even caffeine. But caffeine has some interesting properties to the skin. It can act as a potent antioxidant. It can actually reduce inflammation. Now, using topical caffeine on the skin doesn't always work on every single condition. Like, for example, it may reduce some redness with acne, but it doesn't get rid of acne. There's other solutions for that. It can maybe help with hair loss a tiny bit, but not significantly. But what it can do is give you some temporary help on the 3 conditions I want to talk about as you work to correct the underlying cause. And I always recommend that. Number 1, you can potentially reduce cellulite, okay, the appearance of cellulite, which occurs when you have changes in your fat cells as well as the connective tissue. With cellulite, you have a loss of collagen and loss of muscle, you have atrophy, and it creates like a kind of an orange peel effect. But caffeine directly on the skin increases lipolysis, the breakdown of fat. It increases microvascular circulation, so it gets more blood flow, more lymph flow, because it has vasoconstrictive properties. So it will tighten the skin. And you probably notice a dramatic difference within minutes. But just realize it's a temporary solution. But there are some important things you can do that can create a significant difference, but it takes time. But in the meantime, this might help you. Number 2, aging spots, sunspots, spots that develop from UV radiation, basically anything that creates hyperpigmentation on the skin, okay? Caffeine can help you. And number 3, puffiness under your eyes, okay? Now, if you have dark circles underneath the eye, that's probably not the best solution, but there's puffiness. That would be a good temporary solution. But I will tell you, if your eyes are puffy, that means you are consuming too many carbohydrates. That's like a sure tell sign that your carbs are way too high. And if you just got on a ketogenic diet with some fasting, this would go away permanently. Now, I recently did a video on this, hyperpigmentation on the skin, and talked about why some people get these spots, yet other people don't. It really has to do with the level of antioxidants in your skin. But I think the next most important video for you to watch would be the one on cellulite. So check that one out. I put it up right here.